Turning Duke to a carry top laner and going with some pretty nice poke and split pushing potential on the side. Meanwhile, we do have Longzhu once again trying out that TF, and we'll see if they can make the Kog'Maw work. Okay, well, SK Telecom sets their sight on the Rift Herald. They will hand that over to Bengi. Expression here trying to freeze, but not having too much luck there next to his
particular
turret.
game, so he's going damage focused rather than what we've expected and what's been the routine this season.
Longzhu now grouping up around the dragon. Should go uncontested here. Yeah, nothing going to be happening.
Chaser really wanting to hold on to his smite, potentially looking for winning 1,000 gold on a recipe without getting any power, but going to kick into high gear soon.
Duke going to get caught right now. Expression is going to whimsy him, and that is it. Knocked up at the end. Chaser picks up the kill, and Duke had a lot of money in the bank right there. He does go back, pick up some items. He had farmed, though, about 50 CS without returning, and now we'll have that chance to buy, but meanwhile, Faker managing to hold on. Nope, just barely can't hold on to his turret.
They are so well researched against SKT. They're playing their opponent better than I've seen a team do all season.
Bold claim there. Wow, Flash Pulverize coming in. They're going to knock Pure over. Bengi is there with a follow-up stun. Now Pure trying to get away with the Unbreakable. Bengi now on the pursuit. Isn't that turtle stance? Nice cocoon there from Chaser, and they're going to slow him down. Flash stun onto Pure. It cost them quite a bit, though. 2 flashes for that kill, but SKT will get some control over the dragon. They still have to deal with Duke in the top side, too. He pushes that wave forward, so that will delay the 5th dragon stack. SKT pops his ult.
Suddenly Captain Jack's looking very safe with no flash on the Alistar and no health either. Backline threat immensely low, barring Bengi or Duke just wading their way towards him. It's going to be a second dragon for Longzhu.
25 minutes
Gets
in.
bigger and bigger. Speaking of pressure, we're seeing the dragon started here by Longzhu. They can kite back. Fior's not in position.
Yeah, they don't have good vision either. They're trying for a steal right here. They won't get it. Chaser already next to it in that spider form. Longzhu is going to group up, trying this Baron one more time. They are going to be seen, however, with that blue trinket. Fiora going to keep split pushing right now. The rest of SK Telecom walking over, but this Baron is going to just fall immediately. There's the ultimate here from Coco coming through, and who's going to get it? Will be Chaser in the end, but Coco has Azonia. He's got nearly no HP left. Faker now coming in, trying to get some Mystic shots down from behind. Coco actually lives through this. Duke, though, finds Chaser in the mid. He's going to hop over the wall. Flash used there, and Chaser will escape, actually, in the end. Nope, he's going to get found by Duke. Gold card onto Duke right now. Doesn't quite get the riposte on the gold card, but the chase is still on. Pure wants to try and save his teammate, but Faker there with the arcane shift, and now Wolf is getting quite low. Has to be worried about those caster minions. They're going to be going down quite fast in the 280 carries and the Fiora. Here comes Expression, zooming out of this. Great wild growth, actually. 4-man hit, but is it going to be enough? Pure is tanky. I don't think he's quite there, and they're just going to focus the Nexus. Oh, it's going to be close, and they save the game. Ace for Longzhu. And those are some long death timers. We'll see what they can do. This could just be a reverse right down the middle, Papa.
2 overly decisive calls. One of them
buys as much time as he can. They're going to try and base race this, and looks like Longzhu is going to reverse this. Although Bengi comes in right now, they're going to try and focus down this Nexus. There we go. Gate going to come in. That's going to be too much. Longzhu actually going to take it. And what a return on that game 1. Back-to-back attempts at the Nexus. Longzhu wins in the end. That was weird and wild, but that is 1-0 now for Longzhu Gaming.
We've seen so many games in the history of League of Legends be I think we'll see a different Udyr if all lanes are not freezing like they were awkwardly in game 1.
Yeah, I really like this adjustment from SK Telecom. They bounced back, realized the problems with their composition and their playstyle in game number 1, strengthened it up, seeing that weakness in Longzhu's.
Moonglave's dead, Monty, just like Gangplank was for that week or 2.
Oh man, that was my least favorite time. All right, SK Telecom goes for the first dragon while they take down the turret, so using that bottom side advantage and Udyr's tankiness to go ahead and grab an additional objective. So SKT looking a lot cleaner in this lane swap this game.
Gotta say, just seeing this trade, because of course we're seeing first dragon traded for the Rift Herald. I have to feel that with Dragon receiving those adjustments in 6.3, this trade, which never really felt great, trading the Rift Herald buff for First Dragon gets only worse.
Towards the side of SK Telecom as well. So very small advantages. And Faker's actually going to get jumped on it. There's the chain CC. Goodbye. Lysandra Elise will walk out back from that stun. Now they're going to go into the river. There's the chilling spike coming down. They're going to find Chaser getting the 1 second stun onto him. And there we go. Lysandra coming in. 2 men blocked up already, but Faker's going to live through that ultimate. And now he's pinned up against the side by Poppy. Bengi trying to peel as best he can. Does stop up Pure. Bang actually firing from the outside right now. Duke is getting low, however, and he is going to die. So 2 kills over to Longzhu. None finished. Chaser and Coco get low, but there's just not enough damage on the side of SKT quite yet.
Skirmish win. Still no kills on the board from SKT, and it should be the answering dragon from Longzhu.
Yep, that'll be their first dragon, tying it up in the total. Hydra as he gets bigger and bigger. So they're going to try and gank him, and that's Frozen Domain going down. Duke is going to get knocked up, and he's going to get tied up here. No chance. Ultimate after the W coming through, and Expression gets the credit for that kill. However, SKT is going to respond in the mid lane. They want this turret in return. Chaser try and get some damage off to the side. Bang in the front line. Actually, beautiful cocoon. Then it's going to force the flash and the wild growth. Now here's the TP coming through. Bang is very low. Bang is going to get killed by Coco. Great flank. And that is just a fantastic counter here in Lulu, and just trying to avoid these fights. There we go, Cullen gonna come in. Bang has to be very careful. Goodbye, nice ultimate right on top of Bang. He's gonna get wild growth there, trying to get out of this one. But Captain Jack is going absolutely nuts with that hurricane, and that is not a fight they wanted to take. Duke finds himself in the middle, but he is just dead. And wow, Captain Jack, you don't really want to take team fights like that against a 2-item Callista. That is right in the sweet spot of the Callista power spike. And Chaser is going to get out.
It's almost died to the bolt coming through from the Baron. They're going to keep DPSing it down. Expression is a tank in the front line. He's getting it low. It looks like it's going to leave the remainders to pick up this buff. At the same time, Faker's going to do some counter jungling, but certainly crazy to think, but actually just something micro like team fighting has been pretty poor from an SKT perspective, especially with their pedigree as being super smart at not grouping up their threats.
Yeah, you almost actually never see that kind of grouping from top-tier Korean teams either. That's pretty fundamental.
Run, Coco.
Yeah, Coco can't actually win this.
Wait.
No, he's not going to die. He had about 20 HP left.
So many melee champions. This Udyr really offers nothing in a siege sense.
Nope, but he does offer a hell of a lot of damage, and Coco has to use his Zhonya's. Faker going to take him out, but is that enough? The rest of Longzhu is just powering through the turret right now. They're trying to kill Wolf, but he's wild growth and at his ultimate, but Ren takes him out in the end. Goodbye, Bengi.
Duke's not grouping.
Nope, he's not. He is split pushing Papa Smithy. He's trading.
We see the action that inevitably will come soon. Oh. Wait though.
Yeah, Faker gonna get chain CC'd there, and as he gonna live, has to wild growth himself in the end. Duke now getting into the mix, and he's gonna actually trap them in there, but especially comes in with the heroic charge. Duke trying to retreat, is going to get hit up by that Fate's Call, and that is going to be the end of him. As they pick up 1 kill in the skirmish, and now they're just gonna try and go for the win. Very slowly picking away at these Nexus turrets. Longzhu doesn't have the HP though to actually finish this out right now. TP coming back in at the moment, so Coco on the re-engage. He's going to pop right in there, doesn't hit his W.
Well, that's going to be 3 inhibitors down if they want, but no, they're going to focus on this last Nexus turret.
Yep, that's going to be that last Nexus turret going down. Wolf is going to use his ultimate. Pure very low, still uses that Unbreakable, walking forward. He is going to fall. Does take a lot of damage though, and Longzhu going to actually probably win this game in under 30 minutes right now as Longzhu Gaming gets the 2-0 upset over SK Telecom T1.
And while the first game was a little bit sloppy at the end, they had a big lead and then almost threw it all away. Game 2 was pretty calculated, and if anything, SKT just looked poor in the second game. Longzhu on the same board.
If he wants to keep his very squishy back line alive, we'll see if they can pull it off. At least they have the Poppy versus the Alistar, so they can stop headbutt pull engages. And let's see if
plenty of static vision for the next few minutes. Is down bottom.
Wow, just gonna get stunned up right there on his Soul. Soul is just gonna die. Ixu now down here with the TP advantage. Snowflower trying to give this one over. He may have to donate this. Nope, flash forward. There's the Caustic's middle. One more auto should do it. No, Braum grabs the first blood with the Winter's Bite, and
2
Lyra.
kills and now a dragon, so things looking pretty good for Afreeca. The Lyra Masterstroke, that pathing up to top, is what has led to all these concurrent events 3 minutes later.
Yeah, and he also got that nice CS advantage just due to Crush's and a strange pass through the mid lane on a Corki with Valkyrie up to start this off, so not really accomplishing anything with his gank, and then letting this Graves just keep on power farming through the jungle for that nice big minion wave.
Cold Lyra is the person most able to blow this game apart, and mission success in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Played very well around the summer. And now they've got that TP advantage again, and eMFire played so poorly around that TP edge. Knock up here, Lyra is there, but they are all in a 2v3. Ixu has no mana either. Lyra is just going to die, so pressure played poorly now for Afreeca. There wasn't a response there. Edge get hit by that Winter's Bite, so he can't go actually into the river.
That would have been a viable play if they had vision control around the blue side jungle, but they didn't. It was defensive pings. Everything was in order. Mickey goes in aggressive.
Wow, balking in with no knowledge of where the enemy is. Mickey falling low, and that TP from Poppy is just going to be useless. Afreeca.
Cannon Barrage just now available.
There it is, coming through. And it will be taken out, so fight initiated afterwards. Cougar's going to get in. Crush is actually pinned against the wall and dies nearly instantly. Cougar has his ultimate on. They pick up the first kill of the game onto Corki. Ixu on the side. Roach is moving forward, though. He's still got a lot of HP. He's starting to put down those barrels, but he's going to get taken out by Songyun. Songyun, though, does have the Ignite on him, trying to hit somebody with that Acathian Surprise, but Edge way out of surprise range. And let's see, Ixu wants this kill, gets that passive from his auto attack, and he's gonna fall to another Dark Sphere from Edge. Comes right off cooldown, and ADs, you don't falc into the enemy backline against a Syndra who can just press R and delete you. This truly bad team fighting from the Afreeca Freecs.
And Mickey.
Actually, Lyra's actually gonna try and contest this. GP ult used just as a zoning tool, and wow, Lyra goes in, but doesn't actually get the smite. Everybody from eMFire starting to turn right now. Lyra has to flash out. The Syndra ult is used. Stun as a follow-up, doesn't hit him, but mid turret, one auto attack, two auto attacks. There we go. Mickey's going to take that one. GP knocked up right now. Fate's Call used. Fate's Call right in the back lines. Cougar's got 3 of them right next to him, but that's just not going to be enough as Mickey starts to flash forward, actually. Trying to take this one out. Mickey gets hit there by the Scatter the Weak. Does make it out alive. Cougar. Lyra is cow hunting in the jungle. Makes it look easy.
That time, the flash and Valkyrie forward made more sense. There was the case where the ult was already down for Syndra, so the burst wasn't quite there. Much better play from Afreeca, but
also Snowflower standing there, and we could see a 23-minute Baron as Afreeca using the power of this Graves and Kog'Maw just to go for it. No Blade of the Ruined King yet, but that attack speed.
the eMFire have no idea.
Well, they also can't stop it, so extra factors, no GP ult, no teleport, no nothing. And that will be an uncontested Baron.
Anarchy debuting, but struggled as of late.
Sieging going forward. Soul actually has to flash out and gets the Fate's Call in. There's the GP ultimate, but that's just not going to be enough. Kalista dies to the Graves ult. They're continuing to push forward. Ixu snagged the turrets up now 7-1.
This is the part where Riot really wishes they didn't buff Kog'Maw when teams play it on the new patch, apply it to the old patch, and turns out he's pretty good already. Cannon Barrage and no teleport for the gangplank.
Yeah, they see the barrels being placed there, and this is the Afreeca Freecs' chance to fight down, burst down this Baron, and they're going to go for it, but it's stolen by Crush. Crush gets into the pit and takes that Baron buff, but he pays for it with his life. Cougar, the next to fall, and now the pursuit for Afreeca. Edge here on the run, tossing that Dark Sphere. Snowflower barely out of range of the Winter's Bite. He's going to try and ignite him, but there is a face of the mountain to keep him alive. And there's the end of Edge as he's chased down by rockets and collateral damage.
Not going to actually push through the bottom wave and retake the inhibitor just yet, but the base is broken in 2 spots.
Here we go, they finally will arrive. Nice barrel, gonna take a chunk out of Vicky and Lyra. Same thing with the spear to follow up right after it. Hunting Lyra out. That GP ult is just gonna do nothing. Does zone them, however. Lyra does get low and they do get a kill courtesy of Soul. Glacial Fissure used right there is just to disengage. Songyun though, he's got the range though with the Bio-Arcane Barrage, and he's just gonna flash forward, doesn't quite get it, but that's gonna be the death of Edge on this Syndra, and Mickey's still alive somehow. Snowflower jumping over to him, and that'll be the end of game number 1. Here at 35 minutes, Mickey vouched to his demise one more time in this game, and they will use those super minions to take out the Nexus and the Nidalee at the end, and that'll be GG, first game to the Freecs.
Look, we weren't convinced about Afreeca's comp. They certainly will have their windows. That's the reality of a triple AD carry comp. If you can get far enough ahead, the more balanced comp can struggle to get back into the game, and to Afreeca's credit,
they were super successful in blowing Crush's flash right off the bat in the lane swap. They can do it again here, even without that Kog'Maw with the Braum Kalista combo, and start to set up an early game advantage, which each team trying to take some sort of advantage right here. They have to be really careful. Roach is now here too, and they're gonna go all in on this. Ixu and Lyra doing some damage. Snowflower and Mickey also there. First blood comes in for Soul on Lucian, but Mickey picks up a kill in return onto the Alistar, but he's low. Roach slices his way to a second kill of the game.
well, 4 kills at level 1.
Soul will fall too. Well, that was a really bizarre scenario, actually. That, you know, there's been some adaptation here to the lane swaps to punish. Ooh. Gotta be careful. There's a flash knockup. Lyra is going to fall. Roach blasts him in the back, but Songyun has been down here the entire time while everybody else has been in that jungle.
The early game of these previous 2 games has been Chaos, which of course fits with Anaki's old name, and honestly, it's a good strategy against one of these new teams. It's going to be strategically a little bit less flexible. Lyra's adaptations in game 1 really blew ahead the lead in the jungle matchup and also ballooned the top lane matchup.
This should be a free turret now for Songyun. That wave is absolutely huge. Level 6 hit. Snowflower is going to get tossed around. Ixu under the turret, but they get the tower in the end. Last hit from Ixu. They also kill, they don't kill Soul in the mix of that. Soul actually gets the kill right there, and that'll help out just a little bit with his levels. And no, that'll be just out of range. Mickey now dueling in the river, but another kill. Crush takes out Lyra, so an overextension in the bottom side. Soul makes his way around. Guger threatens a combo and gets another flash out of Snowflower. Soul will be the one to recall instead. And you know, Afreeca saw that advantage because Soul, instead of going to the wave, are they actually going to be able to take this? Nice Unbreakable. They'll be blocking that damage, and they're going to kill the minion wave, and that is a huge error from eMFire. They really needed to get that turret. And now instead, Crush on the run, tunneling his way out. Ghost coming for the extra slow. Roach here is getting low, has to use the summoner heal, and Kalista will take it off and shut him down. Mickey now finds Soul. Soul only level 4. He's got no mana either to get out of this bind. Snowflower gets the kill onto Guger. Crush now falls to Mickey. What is this game, Papa Smithy? Mickey is just laughing. Mickey doesn't even know what's going on.
Soul is going to be a non-factor for such a big swath of this game.
Man, that tower not going down is such a disaster, too. They really needed that money because now we start to see Afreeca really opening up a pretty significant lead.
Second dragon spawns, they kite back to it, pick it up. Definitely, it's only 500 gold, but again, the stats that you get outweighs the gold this early into the game. Academic second dragon for Afreeca. They already had the Rift Herald buff.
Long ultimate, and now Mickey's time to shine in this bottom lane. He's waiting for his Mimic to be back up before he makes a move.
It's go time.
And will it be go time? He's still sitting in that pink brush. Now he's going to distort over the wall. Roach is going to be here. There we go. To second distortion. Going to bait out that ultimate. He's still going in, actually. Yes, Observer, that was actually the clone you were looking at. Baited.
Baited and outsmarted, Observer. Ah, yes. Flashing into the safety of Cannon Barrage.
Mickey has had better days than today.
Not so fine today.
he is not so fine today. I also don't know. Okay, so you're standing right next to the GP. So the dust settles, and it looks like the Dragon will be attempted here by the Afreeca Freecs. Crush looking for an angle. There's a nice denial right there, actually, but look at that. Actually, they're using the Poppy W to prevent Rek'Sai from getting into the pit. Not exactly necessary when you... All right, so they see the Lulu now. Are they going to go for this? Edge does not have TV, just that Ignite, so that's going to trigger Afreeca to start this Baron, and now everybody's already recalled on eMFire. There is no one to defend this. Afreeca does not have to turn, but they are going to turn all the same. Crush just going to get stunned there by a Braum passive, taken down, and they turn right back onto the Baron. Here we go, and it's going to be taken by a Ren from Songyu. Now the follow-up chase. Soul nearly 100-0. Lyra now, he's looking for the ult. Bam! Not going to land. Under attack, 2 already dead. The third one not too far behind. GB ult coming in right now, though. Songyu is untouched, hopping around the outside of the fight, piling on those spears onto Crush and Googer, and that's going to be a couple of kills for Mickey and for Songyu. Roach now the target, but he does get out from the Fate's call. Snowflower is still alive. Mickey has to W all the way back underneath the turrets. Triple kill for Songyu in the end of this game, and that'll be a 30-minute win here for Afreeca as they polish off the Nexus and take the 2-0. That, they don't even care. Everybody on Afreeca is just going to die, apparently, except for Songyu, and he is the chosen one to win this game.
I mean, it's on his chosen Callista, so perhaps no surprise, but honestly, eMFire were really dumbfounded on a macro sense.